Hawks lays an egg by Butterfly Apocalypse on AO3. Episode 11, Chapter 5. You, Dabi-kun, she pointed in its face, are afflicted with a bad case of the love bug. Never say those two words together like that ever again. Dabi wrinkled his nose. What the hell? Toga shrugged. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong, but Hawks has you whipped. I think you've got that the wrong way around, Dabi said, narrowing his eyes. Mr. Compress cleared his throat. For my next trick, I'll be doing an impression. Hawks said I can't kill people. I gotta go cook dinner for Hawks. I can't come to the meeting today. Hawks wants to go shopping, and I've got to watch our baby. I've got to take a trip to space. Hawks said he wanted the Toga and Twice waved their hands in the air wildly. I know. Twice called like an excited child. It's Mickey Mouse, he said sarcastically. Pick me, called Toga. Yes, the young lady with the blonde buns. Mr. Compress pointed to her. She cheered. You're Dabi-kun. Well done! Mr. Compress congratulated her. Dabi shoved cake into his mouth and crossed his arms. Can we get back to names? You'll be a fan of this one, Compress said smugly. Kodaka. Little Hawk. Dabi hummed. Yeah, thanks for the party, I'm leaving. Not so fast, Kirigiri chided. If you leave the party early, you don't get the gifts. Gifts. That gave Dabi pause. Like, actual gifts? Kirigiri nodded. Actual gifts. Useful gifts, in fact. Dabi considered for a moment. Then he shrugged, sitting back down. If nothing else, he was curious what the League considered actual gifts. What else do I have to sit through? Everyone else's name suggestions? Then what? Toga consulted her list. Then it's pictures. Dabi groaned. Pictures? Why? Shouldn't we have done those before the egg and glitter and flower? They're fun, Toga said, and did not acknowledge her own poor planning. Plus, well, Compress began. As villains, we're in a pretty high-risk profession. If anything happens to any of us, we thought it'd be nice if Baby Omelette had something to know us by. Kirigiri finished, solemnly. Well, damn, if that wasn't a downer. Dabi scoffed to cover the odd feeling rising in his chest. If Omelette meets you once, I'm sure it's gonna be scarring enough memory to last a lifetime. And I suspect you'll meet him more than that. A heavy feeling still hovered over them. Well, time to avoid that. What other names you got? I've got a good one, Toga said. Not necessarily bird-related, just kind of a mix between you and Hawks. A mix between him and Hawks had sort of been what Dabi been thinking as a name anyways. All right, he said cautiously. Toga smiled. Otsukane, as in hot wing? That's a little unsubtle, don't you think? Dabi commented. Toga shrugged. Worth a shot. I thought it was clever. If you want to be clever about it, Shigaraki startled them all by speaking up again. You should go with Hataru. Hataru. Firefly. Fire. Fly. Dabi was angry that he actually liked it. Rather than admitting to Shigaraki that he liked his suggestion, Dabi went with, Are you aware that you're wearing a party hat? Shigaraki shrugged and did nothing to remove it. Dabi smirked. He might actually like it then. Any more name suggestions, smartass or otherwise? Dabi asked. I have one, Spinner said. Not sure what you'll think, but, spit it out. I think Akurio, as in red and black, would be a good name, since you have black hair and Hawks has red wings. Spinner said, sounding almost on edge. Akurio. Well, Spinner wasn't exactly right about the hair color, but black and red did suit the aesthetic. Akurio. That sounded familiar. Why did it sound familiar? AKA Spinner, Toga said scoldingly. Kogagiri cleared his throat. Correct me if I'm wrong, But isn't that Stain's name? Spinner sputtered defensively. It's a good name, and I was serious about it being a good fit. If you were just gonna trick me into naming my kid after Stain, Dabi growled. Inspire! I was going to inspire you to name your kid after Stain, Spinner protested. Unbelievable, Dabi murmured. Last call for names. After this, if anyone tries to come to me with names, this is how I will refer to you exclusively for the rest of time. When nobody spoke up, Touya clapped her hands. Her eyes were sparkling. It's time for pictures! Pictures were a whole ordeal. Touya held a massive Polaroid camera, posing people together, snapping several shots, then adjusting. First, everyone got several individual photos. Then Dabi had to be in a picture with everyone individually. Then everyone had to be in a picture without Dabi. Then everyone had to be in a picture with Dabi. Then Touya wanted what she called canids, which were definitely staged, and would have been better described as chaotic. Then someone, Mr. Compress, had the idea of adding props, and that started a whole new round. The tiny moose figures made a reappearance. By the end, Dabi felt like flour was the least strange thing he had to wear that day. Touya framed the most recent pictures. She squinted at the images as they appeared, apparently deeming it satisfactory. She placed it on top of the 6-foot pile of Polaroids. Okay, she announced. I think that does it for pictures. Finally, Dabi groaned. Now give me the gifts. Compress hissed. Dabi. Don't you know the real gift is the friend you made along the way? Are you serious? I was promised actual gifts. Dabi fumed. Calm down. The real gifts are right here. Kirigiri pulled an armful of wrapped boxes and bags through a warp gate. Open Spinners first, Touya said, grabbing a brown paper bag from the pile and shoving it towards Dabi. Dabi squinted at it. Do I dare? I think it's a wonderful gift for Omelette. Touya giggled. Without ceremony, Dabi reached into the bag and pulled out. He should have seen this coming. It was a Stain plushie. He refused to laugh for the second time in one day, but it was a close call. Really? He asked. Spinner crossed his arms. Hey, Omelette needs a good role model. Fair enough, Dabi thought. Mine next. Touya pointed to the largest box from the pile. Dabi peeled away the bright red wrapping paper and peered into the box. There was a lot in it. On top were several tangled barns of yarn. He pulled out, only to realize it was probably supposed to be a baby hat. I made everyone crochet baby hats, Touya said, except nobody was good at it. I made the blue one. You can tell because it's the best. That wasn't saying much, Dabi thought in amusement. I don't know you knew how to crochet, he said. I learned so I could make dolls, Touya exclaimed, so that I could stab them. I also learned how to make amigurumi knives. That one's in there. Indeed, Dabi pulled out a large crocheted knife, complete with red yarn on the tip of the blade, and a cute smiley face near the handle. I see, he said simply. When baby Ami gets older, I can have some real knives to gift, Touya said. Jim-kun, you go next. I have coupons, Twice announced. No store coupons. Coupons to duplicate baby supplies, like diapers, but only clean diapers. That was actually useful and very thoughtful. Oh, thanks. He wasn't sure what else to say. He was prepared to make a snarky remark. Genuine gratitude would take more preparation. Twice just nodded and gave a thumbs up. Mine is in the same vein, said Mr. Compress. He took out a marble and decompressed it. He held out the resulting bag to Dabi. Inside, there were baggies of compressed marbles. It's all supplies. It's probably the most efficient diaper bag out there. You can decompress the marbles by breaking them, and the supplies are sorted into bags. Dabi was impressed. These were actual gifts. Thanks, he said quietly. He was beginning to feel overwhelmed. I suppose that leaves me, Kirigiri said. He didn't have anything wrapped, just bags. First is a sling. This one is good because it allows for skin-to-skin contact. That's very important. Skin-to-skin helps baby feel calm and release hormones in their brains that help them grow up. Thanks, Mommy Blog. Dabi snorted. He knew skin-to-skin was important. He read it on a mommy blog. I also saw this and couldn't resist. Kirigiri held up a little baby suit, complete with a vest and tie, uncannily similar to Kirigiri's own getup. I want pictures. What if Omelette is a girl? Dabi said. I'm sure she'll look dashing in the suit, Kirigiri said calmly. Dabi couldn't argue with that. I believe that's everything, Kirigiri said. You are free to go. Wait, Toga said. Shigaraki-kun made you a gift too. I helped. She held out a very small, plain box. Shigaraki made something for Dabi's baby. He was going to trust it because Toga apparently had said in it, but that didn't stop him from opening the bag like it was going to explode. It didn't explode. Inside was a pacifier. Dabi pulled it out to admire it. The part that went into the baby's mouth looked like a normal pacifier. The outside was decorated like one of Shigaraki's hands, like the ones that grabbed his face and stuff. As kind of weird as it was, he was impressed by the care and craftsmanship put into it. It looked like it was made of lightweight clay. It was pretty detailed too, down to the wrinkles on the fingers and knuckles. This was something he'd put effort into. It was this fact that kept Dabi from making a jab about Shigaraki gifting a pacifier from his own collection. This is weird as hell, Dabi said. But, it's well done and creative. Dabi prepared himself for what he was about to say. Thank you. Shigaraki didn't even spare him a glance. Okay, leave now. Typical, Dabi thought. He had quite a load to carry back to Hawks' apartment, but he managed with a couple of bags. The buzzy feeling in his chest was still there, like bees were making honey in his heart. Weird analogy. Dejectedly weird analogy. Dabi will not be using that one again. He's got the worst of the confetti and flour off of him from the pictures, but the glitter was there to stay. You know what they say, glitter is something about herbs or something, but despite being covered in glitter, something in him felt loosened. He could still taste the sugar from the cake. The sun had sunk below the horizon, but the sky wasn't dark enough yet for the stars to come out, or for the street lamps to come in, but too dark for a passerby, if there were any, to see the genuine, warped-up tilt of Dabi's lips. That, he thought, was the first party anyone had ever thrown for me. Alright, okay, we're high in emotions today. So, the next chapter has no name, but I'm gonna read the summary. For all intents and purposes, Dabi had moved in with Hawks, I was about to say, because I'm like, he keeps going in, like, okay, Who's ready for the fluffiest, thirstiest chapter yet? It's montage time, baby! 2 warnings. Implied sexual contact, and by implied, I mean very vaguely hinted at with no actual sexual contact, as per for the course with how things have been going, but consider yourself warned. 2, very minor cliffhanger, if that is something that causes you grief/anxiety. Heart. God. Well, unfortunately my fans know that I like to leave them in cliffhangers, and you will be left in cliffhangers forever and all time, for all sakes and purposes. You will be left in cliffhangers because I said so. Because I wanted to. Because I decided I woke up and chose evil. Anyways, so this is really interesting. I really like it so far. I didn't think I was gonna like it so far. Technically speaking, yeah, we're kind of halfway through the thing since we're about to enter chapter 6 and there's only 8 chapters, but chapter 6 is also gonna probably be broken up into 3 parts, and then chapter 7 is gonna be broken up into 3 parts, and then chapter 8 is gonna be broken up into 3 parts. But yeah, technically speaking, we are in the halfway mark, I guess. But again, it's not... You guys probably have like a week, 2 weeks with this series still, so do not worry, do not fret. It is a quite lengthy series. I think, yeah, it's literally like 500 words short from being 50,000 words long, right? It actually technically 50,000 words long would be considered a short novel. Not like a short novel, like a short story novel, like a regular size novel, like an average length book, just a little bit on the shorter end, a little bit on the small end, but it wouldn't be considered a small novel, right? But it is considered a shorter average, right? But I think it would still enter the realm of being a book length, like an average book length. Because like average is 70,000, it could go up as high as 150,000, and I think as low as 50,000, right? Anything lower than 50,000 would be considered a short book, like a short novel, a small book, but it's still considered a book, right? So yeah, this would technically be considered that. It's weird to think about that, but yeah. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.